I'm going to weigh in on this. I tend to not weigh in on this junk anymore. But I'm going to weigh in on it because it's funny how this thing that I showed you a year or two ago, where it's gone to now. Some of them are mildly successful. Others are going to prison. And you won't even believe why. But as with any LARPer who read pills to pay their bills, as I always used to say, been a while, hasn't it? As with any LARPer that read pills to pay their bills, the rest of their buddies have to make excuses for what's going on. So let me just break it down. You guys probably remember this dude, Field McConnell of Able Danger, in this whole weird circle. They used to come in and donate to my streams and stuff when I was doing Red Pill to pay the bills. Anyway, he's in jail right now, and his charges are very much strange. I did think at first that people were wrong, that the charges weren't being accurately represented. They said that he threatened to do something very bad to somebody, but it ended up being, fact-checkable. Then he got breaching a restraining order. I could go on, but I won't. Basically, he was ordered to stop talking about a Florida lawyer, as I've mentioned throughout some streams. So let's just get this done. I want to react to a few videos. We're going to start with Kirk Pendergrass. Of course, he called into DNAJLION7's channel because they kind of have employed or used DNAJLion to push out their crap. Then Tracy Joe comes in and says that he's been kidnapped. Does that remind you of anything else out there that has happened lately where they always say this whenever anyone goes to jail or gets in trouble? He's been kidnapped. We just saw this on the other side of the people lying to make money on YouTube. Then we've got Holmseth going and just running his mouth, no evidence, no, I won't even go further. That's where we're at. Let's just go ahead and kick into it because I don't want to waste a lot of time on these guys, but I do owe a little bit of a reaction to what's going on.
Some of you may know who he is, especially if you...
Oh, by the way, they are all not what they say they are. They say they're pro-Constitution, pro-the United States, and they're not. They are for guilty until proven innocent. They are not for free speech, and they wield free speech as a weapon against people that criticize them. They file false strikes. They lie and make up stuff. And if somebody does criticize them, remember when I was called a gatekeeper? Remember all those things they said that I was just because I criticized them? And I was just like out of nowhere, a YouTuber that criticized them that had never talked about them before. And then all of a sudden, I'm on all these web pages saying that I'm all these crazy things. Remember? You remember. You remember? I remember. All right.
Went to watch his presentation. Yes.
Oh, by the way, DNAJLion, this is fair use. I'm just saying, this is fair use. And I will fight with the help of YouTube if you try to file some false strikes.
Yesterday on the field report, I talked about it in my morning video today. He did an excellent job just totally eviscerating this fraudulent warrant that's been foisted upon Field McConnell.
So if you don't remember, if you weren't around, I think you should care. And I'll tell you why. Because this group of people make up conspiracy theories. They literally just make them up out of nowhere. They just pull them out of their bums. You got me? Remember, we're on YouTube. I can't curse. So they just make them up so that they can make money, so that they can get views, so that they can get clicks. And like I said, if they need to attack somebody that's criticizing them, they use a conspiracy theory to do it, right? At one point, I was doing some things that I can't say out loud, but according to them, of course, with no evidence, because I said that a minute ago. They'll do it to anyone. They do it to Craig Sawyer. They just go basically, when you think that they are laying low and you'll never see them again, they pop up and just throw out another. They tried to say that the vice president is now doing all of these things, which ironically, the vice president is on their side. You get me? Which is, I think I told people a year or so ago that they would end up eventually attacking the president, and I think they will. They got their following by supporting the president and screaming MAGA, but now they're attacking the vice president, and it won't be long before they attack the president. Anyway, now we can get into it. You should care, though, because they started to label some lawyers and some other, people in their communities these bad things, and now they're getting charges filed against them for what they did on YouTube. And that's no joke. 2 of them have charges. A couple of them are felony charges. We're talking serious charges that may amount in a good amount of jail time in prison, or even worse, because they said things on YouTube about other people to get views. And that's no joke. So I think it is something that anyone on YouTube should be paying attention to. I know a lot of people won't, but anyway.
Where they have, as Kirk has explained, illegally kidnapped him.
They did not. And I will tell you right now how they did not illegally kidnap Field McConnell. He was ordered by a judge through a restraining order. A judge was provided significant evidence that this individual, this YouTuber, it's just a YouTuber. This YouTuber was ordered to never speak or visit or appear in person. They have to stay how many feet away from wherever this person is and their residences. If they ever bump into them in public, they have to go, leave immediately and get themselves far away, or they can just be charged for bumping into them in public. You know how restraining orders work? Well, the judge ordered this restraining order, and because of all the slander, evidenceless slander that was lobbed against Kim Picazio, the judge ordered that Field McConnell and Timothy Holmseth, it doesn't matter what their names are if you don't know who they are, but they ordered 2 YouTubers to stop saying these things about Kim Picazio, a lawyer in Florida, unless they had evidence to not say it, because it was infringing upon her rights. And they were instigating an entire hate squad of psychos that followed them to go and berate Kim Picazio, Kim Picazio's children, and Kim Picazio's husband due to the lies they were saying. They were saying that she was, the T word, when you get in your car and you drive in traffic. You get what I'm saying? They were saying that she was that T word, children. Okay, you get what I'm saying. All right.
They put him in this jail in Plum City, Wisconsin, but it's completely fraudulent and illegal. And Kirk,
it's not illegal. Once a judge orders you not to talk about somebody online, if a judge orders you not to stalk somebody, if they order you not to visit somebody, if you do those things you've been ordered not to do, it is not illegal for you to be arrested. And that's exactly what happened. He was ordered to stop. Kim Picazio started getting a lot more harassment and threats. She goes out and looks on the internet and sees that Field McConnell and Timothy Holmseth both are continuing to make up conspiracy theories about her and a little girl that disappeared a long time ago that they shouldn't even be talking about as it is. Anyway, long story short, and I don't know if Glow's out there. Glow, if you want to download this when I'm done and upload it to your channel, you're more than welcome to, because I'm not going to leave it up on my channel for long, I don't think. Anyway, though, when they were ordered to stop speaking about Kim and they continued to, they knew they could be arrested. They thought they wouldn't be. But she went to court, let the judge know. The judge filed it. Timothy Holmseth's already been picked up. He had to skip out on his sentencing date, and now Field McConnell is in jail, and he's trying to fight extradition to Florida to stand in front of a judge. So DNAJLION7, unless you can produce some hard evidence, I think that Kim Picazio should be going next to file on you. Somebody should. You are lying about this.
Did an incredible job explaining that, and so I asked him to come onto my show so I could ask him some follow-up questions on that and also get him to explain things.
Well, I hope Kirk Pendergrass is next to have to speak to the police if that's true, but we'll see.
So quickly, though, before I introduce Kirk, I just want to,
in a family court,
summarize kind of the main points of what you covered yesterday in your presentation on the field report.
Yeah, isn't that ironic? There's this thing called the field report, and a guy that works for Field McConnell goes on the field report and says that Field McConnell was illegally arrested on YouTube. They don't go to the courts to petition that he's illegally arrested. They don't try to do anything real. They just tell their audience that he was. It's almost like, I don't know, they're trying to save face so they can continue getting donations.
Well, the main point really here is the fact that the initial cause of action has never been substantiated. And the protection order that KP out of Florida,
Kim Picazio out of Florida, you're not allowed to mention her, Kirk. Saying her initials and where she's from is mentioning her. I hope she files against you next, because you guys are obsessive. You know that this lady has not done the things that Field and Holmseth accused her of. They have not produced a shred of evidence, and they've been doing it for over 10 years. Never in 10 years did they produce a shred of evidence. Also, any of you guys that may stumble into this video because you watch these guys and you for some reason came in here, ask them why they haven't shown you evidence or taken the court evidence that Kim Picazio is doing these things so that Kim Picazio could be arrested and stopped. Have they really convinced you that there is this crazy conspiracy down in Florida where Kim Picazio can commit every crime in the book and never be arrested? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You literally have to be resigning to sheer lunacy if you want to be able to believe what they're saying at this point.
Florida got was through a family court. Okay, so
that doesn't matter if it's a family court or not. That's just a stipulation of the restraining order in Florida. So you can say that all you want and act like that devalues it. It does not devalue it at all.
The ultimate question is, in the very beginning of all this, how does one claim a right to a cause of action in a family court using a family?
They do this every time. They're trying to get a loophole. They're trying to get you to believe in a loophole. Well, she should have filed this in a different court. No, if you're going to file these types of orders, they go through a family court, just so you know. So it's perfectly normal for it to go through a family court. He can be charged through a family court, and he can be sentenced to jail time through the family court. So I don't know what the complaint is, but you better be pulling up some actual law out of Florida if you want to make something about how they can't do this or it's illegal to do this. It's not illegal to do this. If it was, then his lawyers would have already gotten him out of jail and already got the charges cleared. And even if that's true, even if all that's true, why is he threatening her with guns? Why is he doing that at all? Right? It just seems crazy. You can't defend this.
Family court form, under family law, when there is no marriage contract, there is no.
So there doesn't have to be a marriage contract. How do you know that Picazio is not filing there because of Florida law? Also, it has to do with her family. I don't know why. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know why. All I know is if they would have filed in the wrong court, the judge would have told them to go file in a different court. They would have never went and picked him up and prepared him for extradition.
Familial relationship, and you're in a different state. So at the root of all this is the fraud upon the court.
That's not the fraud. So now that we've established that that's not the fraud, are you going to bring up other things that are the fraud, or are you just going to keep falsely pushing that that's the fraud? It's literally the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You know, for some reason, I mean, if this is true, then why is he still in? And why aren't you in the court system getting him off? And why, if that's true, didn't you do that for Timothy Holmseth? Timothy Holmseth had to skip out on sentencing. He got all these people from across the United States. A YouTuber got a bunch of his followers to go to the courthouse to cheer for him on his sentencing date. And he didn't show up, and he's been in hiding ever since. Yes, he's still broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. Ironic, right?
Court, not just fraud, but of 18, and was talking about the Violence Against Women Act and these protection orders and how he was changing things. And there was a big uproar about that because, oh man, he's setting us back hundreds of years and blah, blah, blah. No, the thing is it's not even lawful to begin with. And we've already done the research on this.
You haven't done it. If you had, you would show it. If you had done the research, you wouldn't just get up here and talk and just BS your way through it. Any normal person in the entire world that hears you talk about this knows that you're lying, right? This guy is what you would call, I don't know if you guys have ever bumped into a sovereign citizen, but that's what we're looking at here. We are looking at sovereign citizens, just so you know.
We exposed this. We've already sent it to Congress. So the problem.
You've exposed this and sent it to Congress. Why? Why wouldn't you start where he is? Why wouldn't you help him? You know how long it's going to take for Congress to even look at this? So basically, you're like, let him sit there and rot. We're going to petition Congress instead of actually filing a motion in the court that would matter.
The problem is the Constitution specifically states,
Don't act like you guys like the Constitution or use the Constitution. These two people on the screen are anti-Americans. They are un-American. They are against America. They are against the Constitution. And you'll say, well, how do you know that, UNIRock? They are for guilty until proven innocent. And what I mean is, they take somebody, they claim that that person has done some incredible crime. They'll make videos about it over and over and over and over. And you'll go back and watch the videos and see that literally there is no evidence whatsoever to show that they are being honest. There's nothing there. So then when you go in and say to them, hey, where's the evidence that this person did this? And if they did, why aren't they in jail? There's always a conspiratorial excuse. But that's not how it works when it's about other people's rights. You want to make up a conspiracy about the shape of the earth. You want to make up a conspiracy about, you know, a government leaker hiding on 8chan, whatever. But when you start making up conspiracies that a lawyer in Florida who has a bunch of kids and a husband and she's a staple of the community, and you make up a conspiracy that she's doing all these criminal acts, that's when you've got an issue, because you are infringing upon her constitutional rights. The thing about constitutional rights is that you have to be okay with everyone else having them too, not just you, right? You can't just be concerned about Field's constitutional rights and not be concerned about Picazio's. But that's exactly what these guys are doing right here. They're not even willing to admit when Field directly or Holmseth directly made up false conspiracies about her that did strip her of her constitutional rights, and they're not even willing to admit that they are pushing for guilty until proven innocent with Picazio, and they're pushing for innocent until proven guilty with Field McConnell. And any of their followers that aren't just, you know, fake, you know, supporters that are blinded by their conspiratorial garbage should be able to stand up to them and say, how in the world can you act like Picazio doesn't deserve constitutional rights, but then everybody's supposed to push for McConnell to have them? These guys like to selectively push for those types of rights, and that's how you know that they are un-American. They don't really care about the Constitution or law for that matter unless it affects them.
In Article 4, Section 4, domestic violence is internal insurrection, an attempt to overthrow the government.
Well, now we know that he's just a complete idiot. So let's skip ahead, because I'm not giving a lot of time.
All members of the bar. And Black's Law Dictionary, various scam and the fraud is part where we bring in these rules of procedure and all that. And then the trickery, the scheme, scam, and the fraud is part where we bring in the human trafficking, part B.
Okay, what are you talking about? Human, you know what? Really? With her? You know that when Holmseth said this with no evidence, he got charged, he got taken to court, and he ran and now has warrants out for his name. And as soon as they catch him, he's going to be in prison for a while. You know that Field did the same thing, accused Picazio of these acts outside of a court of law, not trying to take it to the police, just saying it on YouTube over and over again. This guy's YouTube channel should be deleted for this. He should suffer. This is something that would be actually outside of the terms of service for YouTube, to where DNAJLion allowing this to be broadcast on his channel, in my opinion, he should suffer some type of penalty for it. And Pendergrass, I think Picazio should go to court and file your name next. And then the next time you get up, why do you think he used her initials? He thinks using her initials, but yet still the entire audience knows who he's talking about. So he's doing the same thing that the judge ordered these guys not to do. He's just thinking in his head, if I use initials, then I'm going to be, what is he going to say when they haul him into court? Is he going to say, no, KP meant King Princess. KP meant something other than Kim Picazio. Oh, come on. You're making the same claim that got these other guys locked up, but you're just using the initials instead. You're a really dirty person, Kirk Pendergrass.
Which Trump talks about. Right? There's the executive order out there blocking the property of those involved in serious human rights violations.
Well, Picazio's not having that happen to her. Well, so she must not be doing
trafficking and corruption. And, you know, when we say human trafficking, most of us think stuff.
Right.
So
just to let me, I want to put this.
Oh God, this guy. Oh, I can't even fathom what he's about to say, but
in context with my viewers who are basically wanting to know about Timothy Holmseth and Field McConnell. And
yeah, well, okay, let's hear it, big guy. Let's hear you spin this. Let's hear your true and provable commentary, logical commentary on the situation. Let's see.
Their direct arrest. Basically, what's happened is this KP, who, guys, we can't say her name because
her KP. See, they're admitting they can't say Kim Picazio's name. They're admitting that they're not supposed to be talking about her on their channel. They flood the internet with her name. They flood the internet with accusations at her. She's just a lawyer. How would you feel if it was you or one of your family members? And this guy, this criminal on the right and the criminal on the left, both of them are, by the way, accurately described as criminals. If you just type in their names, you can see all of it. The one on the right, he's got a really long history of beating up women and kids. It's ironic that his YouTube channel is saving the little children. I always found that so ironic considering his criminal background. Seems like he's done the opposite in his life. Maybe that's why he feels like he has to have a YouTube channel where he says that he saves the little children over and over and over in the beginning of every video. Anyway, you're going to just say her initials. What if one of your family members, these guys were talking about one of your family members? You'd be furious. You would wish there was something you could do to stop them from doing this, right? I think 10 years of Holmseth and McConnell lobbying, just two YouTubers lobbying these conspiracies at Kim Picazio, yet never producing even a shred of evidence. They don't even have breadcrumbs. They literally just sit there and say that she's doing it. And if you don't believe me, you can just go look. It's out there. And now you've got these two. Now that Field and Timothy's running from the law, trying to avoid being arrested on his warrants, and McConnell is inside getting extradited to Florida, they are basically doing the job. They're like they're telling Kim Picazio, hey, Kim, if you get these guys thrown in jail, we're going to sit here and direct our audience towards you. It's just sickening.
She's this attorney in Broward County, Florida, who's caused a lot of pain right now.
She's caused a lot of pain right now. She has. Do you realize that? See, that's another thing that exposes these people. McConnell, DNAJLion, Holmseth, Pendergrass, everyone that they are in a network with, nothing about personal responsibility. It's not Field McConnell's fault that a judge ordered him to stop doing this, and he continued to do it for 11 years. It's not Timothy Holmseth's fault. It's Kim Picazio's fault. You know, her getting all these phone calls. Her law firm getting all these phone calls from crazed conspiracy theory followers of these guys saying disgusting things to the law firm and on the phone to her husband and her children, lobbing threats, lobbing all the, literally saying, like, she can't even go to the grocery. And I believe her. I don't think she's lying. She can't even go to the grocery because of what these guys tell their crazed audience she does. And they buy it. They believe it. And then they send them money. Keep exposing those bad guys. Keep exposing those bad lawyers, you know, like Kim Picazio. It's just disgusting. If you are a person out there that is harassing Kim Picazio with an email, with a post on Facebook, with anything you're doing that's harassing her, you need to stop until they show you, not you, until they take the court's evidence that she's doing this and she's charged. Stop harassing this woman. I thought that the people that follow these guys were all about the United States. I thought they were all about the Constitution. How can you do this to someone? Just because they tell you it's true? Have you ever considered the fact that they're lying to you because you send them money? It's just baffling. It's baffling. The kind of scammers that you find on the internet. I mean, we've been looking at the flat scammers for a while, right? But if we wanted to turn our heads to the left just a little and look at the other realm of YouTube, you could find people like this lobbing insults at just any person out there. Celebrity, figure of a community, politician. You'll find every different accusation lobbed at every famous person that could possibly be lobbed. Because if they do it, they'll get donations for it.
By her abuse of the courts. But this KP, she's in Broward County. She's connected.
So now you guys are all 100% sovereign citizens because you're saying that she's abusing the courts by filing restraining orders. You're telling me that you guys don't have to produce evidence for anything you say. And after, like, she didn't just wait a year. I think she should be commended. To respect free speech and to try to let this stuff go away, she waited, I think it was 10 years before even filing against Holmseth. 10 years of being harassed online. Have you seen the blogs that he's written about her? Have you seen any of the videos that he's done about her? You could go on, I'm going to search on the internet and see if I can pull some stuff up while we hear him.
Connected to a lot of this pedophilia, child sex trafficking, and whatnot that's been going on in Broward County, which is...
There we go. He's doing it right now. Do you hear him? Literally, in the video where he's trying to put up a defense for McConnell, all he's doing is accusing Picazio again. You just heard him. He just said she is facilitating what he just said, and they don't have evidence. They've never... Look at the way he's staring up and to the left, too, the whole time he says it. She's definitely helping facilitate all of this blank in Florida, in Broward County. Look at him. He's lying.
There's a vortex, it looks like, of satanic pedophilia and child sex trafficking going as high up as Jeffrey Epstein, Obama, Pence.
They're not from Florida. What are you talking about? They're not from Florida. Why would they be doing it in Florida when they're never there? They're never in that county. The people you just named have nothing to do with that county. How in the world? What are you talking about, dude? Do you just make stuff up? Now look at this. Look at what happens when we go to YouTube. Guess whose channel Amy Dawson is? That's Timothy Holmseth's channel. I can confirm to the whole of YouTube right now, and I hope Kim Picazio is listening, that is Timothy Holmseth's channel, and I'll tell you how I know. Because when he's in jail, it doesn't post. When he has something happening, it doesn't post. But when he is able to stream out on the internet, seems like there's always a video that gets uploaded there. Florida attorney Picazio plotted to frame, Police report, Florida attorney Kim Picazio knew missing child Haley Cummings was alive. Now, that's another thing. For some reason, McConnell and Holmseth are obsessed with the little girl, Haley Cummings. If you don't know about the Haley Cummings case, you should look it up, and you should be versed in this, because if you ever had a child, God forbid, you ever had a child that disappeared in your family, then you could, because it's happened with Haley Cummings, have somebody like Holmseth and Field McConnell, DNAJLION, and Kirk Pendergrass that use your missing child's name to take donations, to say they're investigating it when they've never done that. And then when they get a little bit of pressure to produce evidence and they get in trouble for what they've been doing, they attack the lawyer who was involved with the case. Legal assistant Kim Picazio possessed blank photos of kidnapped Haley Cummings. There's only one person who's ever lobbed these kind of accusations at Kim Picazio, Timothy Holmseth. This is his channel. Wayne Kruger, Minnesota Court Records, attorney Kim Picazio sells babies and little kids, /CIA. I know, you're probably saying, I don't believe you that the title says that, UNIRock. Look at the title. This is Timothy Holmseth. This is just September 23rd of 2019. I don't think this video is going to get any views. I don't think anyone's going to care. Somebody needs to be defending Picazio, and somebody needs to be exposing Holmseth. And they need to expose Holmseth, Field McConnell, Titus Frost, all these guys that spit this kind of guilty until proven innocent BS. They need to be exposed. They need to be called out. People need to be able to educate their audience. You need to be able to post against these guys on Twitter and Facebook with the truth that they have no evidence of this. Imagine one of your family members disappears, a little girl, and then a lawyer steps in to try to help pro bono. You represent that little girl and everything that happens with her. And that's what Kim Picazio did. That's why Timothy Holmseth started to hate Kim Picazio. She pro bono was helping the mother or the aunt or the mother of the missing little girl. And because of that, Holmseth started to hate her. Because that lawyer wasn't afraid to call out Holmseth and tell people he's not investigating this disappearance. He's faking it to get your donations. He's done it for years. He's still doing it up until this month on other channels. Anyway, I can't believe that DNAJLion has the nerve to say this about Kim Picazio with no evidence. And Kim, I hope you're listening. I will advertise a GoFundMe campaign for you to take him to court, DNAJLion7. I will get every YouTuber I know that is sympathetic with me to do a video advertising your GoFundMe campaign. We will raise funds for you to sue him next in the same way that you sued Holmseth and Field McConnell. And there is a danger in DNAJLion doing this. DNAJLion is a YouTuber who has been accusing celebrities and other famous people of the same type of crimes for the last few months, and he's built a YouTube channel that's been on YouTube since 10 years, never grown at all, never gotten any subscribers until the last few months when he started accusing famous people of you-know-what. Now he's at 85,000 subscribers. There are 8,000 crazed lunatics that watched this video and heard DNAJLion, and this was today. It'll probably get up to 20 or 30,000. It was yesterday. Or no? Is it after midnight? No, it was today. It'll probably get up to 20 or 30,000 by the time it's done. Crazed lunatics that believe this guy, who follow this guy, who are in a cult with this guy. He runs a religious cult. You can look it up. And they will harass her now that they have done this. All they got to do is search it. They'll be able to find out Picazio's name, and they'll be able to see what he's saying. All they got to do is search for Holmseth's name, and Picazio comes up because of the amount of slander he's put out. And we have to be able to ask ourselves, at what point does somebody gain protection against this type of cyber stalking and harassment? This is 100%. There is never a case that I've ever seen that better fits the description of cyber stalking and harassment as this case. I've been following it for a long time. I caught wind of Timothy Holmseth way back in maybe like 2017, and I never really cared because his channel ended up getting deleted by YouTube for lobbying accusations and getting strikes filed and privacy complaints and all those things. So he lost his channel, and I just resigned to saying, okay, he's gone, who cares about him, whatever. But what he did was systematically target every fake conspiracy theory that he could, even the flat earth, to try to gain followers, especially the Q stuff and the pizza stuff. They gain a following with that, and they ask for donations because they're saving the world. These criminals who have had a lifetime, not just old criminal charges that you could forgive them for and say they've grown from and learned from. We're talking very recent criminal charges, repeat constant criminal charges in their life. All of a sudden, they turn a new leaf. All of a sudden, they decide to become good people, and they're actually doing something good for what they're saying here? No. You can't trust them until they've actually shown you that they could actually turn the other leaf and start, doing something good. Especially when everyone has to question that it's no coincidence that these criminals, all of these people are criminals, okay? You could search their names and look if you don't believe me. All of it's public record. All of them are repeat criminals, most of them violent criminals, by the way. And is it any surprise that they say that they're good now, that they stopped, doing crime now, and they're doing the right thing, and they just so happen to target these fake conspiracies, grow a following, and start accusing people with no evidence? And now everybody's saying, what, are we supposed to believe you? They want you to believe them. DNAJLion wants you to believe this about Kim Picazio that he just said on his show. But why would we? We have to ask ourselves, he's either saying it because it's true, and he got some secret information that no one else has that he can't take to the courts and he can't do anything about, or he's just saying it to try to defend the reputation of his friends and at the same time drum up donations for himself, while at the same time he hopes that the targeted harassment that Kim Picazio will experience from his channel instigating these psychopaths to go and message her and stalk her and call her on the phone and knock on her door and then drive off, all these things, he hopes it'll get Kim Picazio intimidated enough to try to go into hiding and leave them alone. And even if she did that, they would still ruin her name and slander her name. There has to be something that Picazio can do to be able to stand up against this. I'm shocked that he once again used her name and once again accused her on his show. and once again did not provide a shred of evidence,
etc. And Timothy Holmseth, way back in 2009, as he was investigating this missing girl, Haley Cummings.
He was not investigating her. He has never investigated one thing. Nothing he has ever said about Haley Cummings has ever been shown to be true. Most of what he has said about Haley Cummings has been proven to be false. He still talks about that disappearing little girl more than any other person on the internet. I think because he is a sick pervert. If you read the front page of his book, Glow just put up a clip of mine where I was reading the front page of his book. And if you want to get that link for me, I will read it again right now. But the front page of Timothy Holmseth's book will make you vomit. And it is about Haley Cummings. How is it that this guy can talk about this little girl who disappeared? The family is mourning her death. Still, he talks about her more than any single person in all of the internet. And he does this with several little girls who ended up missing. The sickest thing I've ever heard Timothy Holmseth did, he put the police pictures on his website. The police crime scene pictures of Haley Cummings. He put it on his website so that if you clicked on his About section or if you clicked on his website somewhere from his social media, it would take you to his front page, and the first thing you see are the crime scene photos of Haley Cummings. Now, they did file things to get that taken down, but there is a lot of evidence on the internet that he's done this that's archived, not the pictures, thank God, but people reacting to it, him getting in trouble for it is archived. We are talking about sick individuals, and yes, all of them. These two, McConnell and Holmseth, are very sick criminals. How do you take sick criminals and treat them as if they are patriotic or that they're doing something good for our country in accusing citizens of this and abusing those citizens' rights?
Cummings, he came into contact with this KP, and KP.
Here he goes again, KP. He just can't stop, can he?
He put this fraudulent domestic violence or restraining order against him.
It wasn't fraudulent. What would you do? Well, I already know what DNAJLION would do. He would beat the hell out of a woman and a kid and go to prison because he's done it many times. He has a lie. The guy saying that Kim Picazio's restraining orders are false, that guy right there has permanent restraining orders against every one of his 6 wives and permanent restraining orders against his kids. He does not even see his 5 kids. How in the world how is he allowed to do this is my thing. I mean, for God's sake, if he tried to do this against somebody in my family. And what would you do? Would you take him to court? You know, everyone that criticizes this guy, everybody that stands up against their lies, they end up making up these types of things and doing the same thing against them.
Even though, as you're saying, Timothy's not married to her, he's never.
He doesn't have to be for her to get a restraining order. Why do you guys push these lies? No one in the United States is going to buy this, that you have to be married to somebody to get a restraining order against them. You don't. You do not have to. There are many people that get, how do I know this? Because Timothy Holmseth has like 4 or 5 people that have lifetime restraining orders against the man. They all filed the same way that Kim did. All of them successfully got the restraining orders filed against him, and they're still there for the rest of Timothy Holmseth's natural life. So how are you saying that this is something that disqualifies the restraining order and makes it false? It's not. And Field McConnell being arrested is proof that this restraining order that was filed is active, it's lawful, and it's true. You can't file a restraining order for no reason. If I walk in and try to file a restraining order against an ex-girlfriend, if I have no evidence, the judge is not going to let it be ordered. And if I walk in and try to file a restraining order against some random stranger, it'll be even harder for me to get it done. Picazio walked in and took nothing but Field McConnell's own words and the threats that he sent her, laid them down in front of a judge, and he ordered the restraining order. He let McConnell know, and McConnell had the out. McConnell could have just not spoke about Picazio ever again, and so could Holmseth. They chose to speak about her, and they both now are facing the consequences, and I hope they lock both of these guys up until their last breath. Because I'm telling you why. For 10 years. Even DNAJLion just admitted it. Since 2009, McConnell and Holmseth have done this to this lady. This lady is just somebody that goes to work and goes home and takes care of her kids. How does she deserve this? Obviously, the United States justice system doesn't think that she deserves this. That's why they allow the restraining orders to be filed. This guy can't get a single story right. I don't know how 80,000 people are so dumb that they follow him when he cannot get a single story correct. He can't even call this guy out for his BS because I think he's being paid. Why else would some idiot with a 90,000 subscriber YouTube channel just let these guys get up on their channel and lie and lie and lie, knowing he could face a strike, knowing he could face termination? Why would he chance this channel that pays all of his bills to let people get up there and lie about some very serious things? If you were lying about some frivolous conspiracy theory, you might not face those types of consequences. But if you're going to lie about very important things like this, YouTube could be petitioned to act. And if you think Picazio isn't going to act after this, you're wrong. I think this video should be reported. I think Picazio should report it. She should go to court, and she should file against him. Because, Kim, if you do not do it, he won't stop. He is a serial cyber stalker. He's been charged with it. He stalks in real life, and he stalks on the internet, and he has been charged with these things. These guys would like you to... They are both also sovereign citizens. I don't know if I got that out earlier in my rant. But yes, this is a rant, and I don't care. These guys that do this to Kim are sovereign citizens.
Never been in the state of Florida. And then now she's put another one against Phil McConnell, even though, again, she's not married to him. She has no relation to him. So she's misused this family.
No, she's not. She's not misusing anything. If Florida has something that these types of restraining orders have to be filed in family court for whatever reason, she's not misusing it. She is a successful, decorated lawyer in Florida, so I trust her knowing where to file these restraining orders more than I trust you sitting in Alaska, avoiding the authorities in the states because you don't want them to arrest you for what you've done to your wives and your children. I don't trust you over her, and I trust that the judge, how did she push him through? How did she do it to two separate people if they're false? It doesn't make sense. What these guys do, these sovereign citizens, if you haven't paid attention to sovereign citizens, they try to find loopholes in the law so that they can make some excuse to the public that this loophole gets them out of being judged by the public for their crimes. And that's what they're doing here. If they can convince you that it's wrong that Kim Picazio filed the restraining orders in the wrong court, then they can make you in your head, or at least the dummies that follow them, say, okay, well, then we don't have to hold it against Timothy or Field because she filed it in the wrong court. No, it shouldn't matter. It's ridiculous.
Court, domestic order, whatever you want to call it, against both of these individuals. Of course, Phil McConnell decided to heck with this. I'm gonna keep using my First Amendment right. And
it's not a First Amendment right. Are you kidding me? Do you think it's a First Amendment right to lie? Is it a First Amendment right to lie about someone and accuse them of things? That's what the Second Amendment protects you for. Innocent until proven guilty. If you're going to stand up and say that Kim Picazio is guilty with no evidence to back you up, you can go to court and be charged for it. That's part of the First Amendment. Just like you have the freedom over your actions, you also have freedom of speech, but you also have freedom of your actions. You can go rob a bank right now, DNAJLion. You could go rob a bank right now. I guarantee you're going to have to face consequences for robbing that bank if you commit a crime with those actions. Just like if you use your speech to accuse Kim Picazio of this, especially after she has compelled a judge to file a restraining order on you, prohibiting you from mentioning her name anymore in blogs, YouTube, social media, or in reality, in life, or anywhere else, and you continue to do it, then it's not some fraudulent thing for them to arrest you and charge you. But we don't have to even go there. Let's just drop that. Fine, I'll give that to you. Fine, he's the whole, who cares about that? Well, what about the threats he made? He threatened to go down there with a weapon, a gun, and do something to her. And that's another reason that compelled the police to pick him up and extradite him to Florida. You think it's not going to be in the news? You think they're just going to let it go? You think they're not going to charge the old guy with that and that the public's not going to find out what happened, DNAJLion? And when they do, I'm going to pull this clip. I'm going to pull this clip back up, and I'm going to tag you, and I'm going to call you out again for how bad you are at reporting anything. I have looked at this guy's channel for a while. Everything that he has reported, and I mean every video, has inaccurate reporting in it. He is not a reporter. He's a fiction channel.
And exposing KP. And because of that, they said, oh, he violated this court order, so we're going to throw him in jail.
Well, if the court order said that he couldn't talk about her and he talked about her, Kim, you have to file it against DNA now. This is what they do to people, Kim. If you get Timothy picked up, then they're going to have Field McConnell slander you and libel you to kind of make you get paid back for getting Timothy charged for it. Then when you go to court and you get Field McConnell locked up, they're going to get DNAJLION to do it. You ever get DNAJLION locked up? And I pray to God you do. They're going to have another one of them do it. Get them all locked up. Lock them all up. They deserve it. They need it. That's where they belong anyway. They haven't changed.
Why they're trying to extradite him down to Florida, which is where this KP is. But you're actually saying that this goes much deeper. You're saying that
don't go to Conspiracy Town. Don't do it. Don't do it. I implore anyone watching to go to this guy's channel and leave him a message, take whatever action you see fit to let him know that you think that this is wrong.
Domestic violence, as defined in the Constitution, has nothing to do with a husband.
As defined, when did they define domestic violence in the Constitution? What now? Isn't that in a different kind of like law? I didn't know the Constitution handled domestic violence. It might. I mean, it's been a long time since I've studied the Constitution. It's been since school, but, well, I can't say that. I had to study in the military a little bit in the beginning of basic training. You're telling me, though, that, what now?
Husband beating his wife or a wife beating, it has to do with illegal insurrection against our government. Is that what you're saying?
And here, I'll just show you the law. I'll share the law.
No, I don't care about that law. There are many laws. There are many laws in every city, every county, every state, and then in the country. There's lots of different laws. You can break a law. I don't know why you guys are acting like you care about the Constitution. I'm not going to listen to you bastardize our Constitution. You don't withhold to the Constitution, and therefore I'm not going to listen to you bastardize it. You are anti-Constitution. You can say you're pro all day long. If your actions are against it, then you're going to get called out for being against it. You are anti-American. You are anti-constitutional. You use your free speech to try to punish others by lying to a gullible audience to get them to do your battles for you. What is that called, everybody? What is it called when Field, Timmy, and DNAJLION lie to their audience to get their audience to go do their dirty work and harass Picazio or harass a YouTuber that criticizes them or someone that calls them out? Social justice warriors. So not only are they anti-American and anti-constitutional, they're social justice warriors. By definition, accurately represented as. Their own behavior proves it. Why did they not say to themselves, hey, we don't want you doing this to Kim Picazio. We don't want you even knowing who she is. We're not even going to use her initials. We're going to make sure that no one out there gets the wrong idea and goes and harasses this lady. We're not even going to talk about her because it doesn't matter. This is Field McConnell's fault, so we're not going to bring up Picazio. Field McConnell chose to do this. Is that what they're doing here? No.
Which shall not be infringed. When you're issued one of these, it says in there, oh, you got to turn in your guns.
Good. You shouldn't have a gun after the way of what you're doing. In fact, how in the world does Timothy Holmseth even have a gun? He's had many felonies in the past, and so has DNAJLION. They're not allowed to have weapons.
Okay, first of all,
that's why he's got that crazy look on his face. He's like, oh shit, I'm not allowed to have a gun. I'm mad now.
Timothy Holmseth and Field McConnell, they're not even yet a domestic,
which shall not be infringed. When you're issued one of these, it says in there, oh, you got to turn in your guns.
Good. People like Field, anti-American, anti-constitutional, slanderous liars, they shouldn't have them.
Okay, first of all, fundamentally, principally, this violates due process of law.
Oh, now you're going to talk about what violates due process. What about Kim Picazio's rights? Do you only care about you and your friends' rights? If you really were for the Constitution, you would care about everyone's rights. And then you would care about your behavior and how your behavior represents the Constitution and preserves the rights for everyone, not just you.
Law, because where is the consent of the governed? One. Two.
Now he's just talking sovereign citizen BS. Let's see if that, hey, Kirk, let's see if that sovereign citizen crap does you any good when you're standing in front of the judge.
Where is the consent of a...
Oh, wait, you've already stood in front of a judge many times, and it's never worked for you. I don't think it's going to work for Field either, big guy.
Jury to deprive these fundamental rights. So that...
They didn't need one. Timothy had a jury ready to deprive him of his fundamental rights and haul him to prison, and he ran. He's on the run right now. Oh, I know. He says they dropped the warrants. No, they didn't. He would have had to stand in front of a judge to get his warrants dropped. They're not just going to just blink, drop them. Sorry.
That subverts the law, which in the end comes out to treason.
Right.
That is a treasonous act because that...
So, yeah, your sovereign citizen logic makes sense, doesn't it?
That is internal insurrection.
From the family court, it automatically says you're not allowed to have a firearm, that you're not allowed to own a gun. And
good. You don't have to worry about, what are you talking about? This is what gets me. Kirk isn't allowed to have a gun. He's a felon. DNAJLion is not allowed to have a gun. He's a felon. Holmseth is not allowed to have a gun. He's a felon. And what's his name? Field McConnell is not allowed to have a gun. He's a felon. I'm allowed to have a gun. I have guns, but you're not. Why does it matter? You're not allowed to have them anyway due to what you did in your past. They're not just going to give them back to you. That's not how it works.
And what Kirk is saying is, look, this is a fundamental Second Amendment right.
Second Amendment? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. What about Kim Picazio's rights? And it's not against the Constitution for you to not be able to wield a gun after you've committed all the felonies you've committed. You see why they're angry? You see why DNAJLion's mad? He is bitching about this and how you shouldn't be able to take, weapons away from felons because he's a repeat felon. He's mad about that law now. He feels like, hey, you shouldn't be able to do this to me. So what if I, used spoons and metal objects and beat my kids and wives and have lifetime restraint? How is it that all of them, DNAJLion, Field McConnell, and Timothy Holmseth, all have lifetime restraining orders issued against them for multiple children and women? How? And how do they still have a following of people that say they're following them because they are reporters and because they do good things that represent their country? They don't.
And yet a domestic violence family court can go ahead and just take that right away from you. So it seems to me there's sort of three.
Wow, you are mad, aren't you, big guy?
So therefore, you don't have subject matter jurisdiction over domestic violence. Providing...
I'm not listening to any more of this, but I want to show you how they do this, okay? So they don't just use a couple, a pocket of YouTubers that are close to them, these 4 people that I've talked about. They don't just use that pocket of YouTubers to accomplish what they're doing. They also reach their tentacles out to the other shills that they pay or that they give promotional value to have them help them. So they've got other YouTubers now, and they have drawn the exact same conclusion as they have. I wonder how. When I looked at the case, I drew the conclusion that these 4 people are cyber stalkers, serial harassers, anti-constitutional, anti-American, slanderous, libelous, and felons, because that's the facts. Right? So any normal person that looks at this is going to draw those conclusions. Hey, Standing Foot upgraded to Stream Fam. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. That's the only way I still produce. I'm not like these guys. I don't go out lying to all these people, making up these giant conspiracy theories to get my views and my support. So every member I have, the sole reason, every patron, every donator, it's the sole way I do this. Thank you, Standing Foot. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Now, these guys don't just propagandize through those 4 people. They also, like I said, any other normal person who looks into this case is going to draw conclusions based off of the evidence that's available. And thank God there is a massive amount of evidence available for anyone to be able to find about Holmseth and the others I've named, especially DNAJLion and especially Field McConnell. But the other YouTubers that are smaller than them, like this lady, Tracy Jo Remington, she looked at all the evidence. She didn't draw any type of evidence-based, opinion. She didn't draw an opinion that is makes sense. Her opinion sounds exactly like the four people you just heard. Take a listen for yourself under fair use. Let me play it.
Anybody who knows Field knows that he loves the Lord, and
No, he doesn't.
serves the Lord. And
No, because the Lord would not let him say the things that he said to Kim Picazio or do the things that he's done to Kim Picazio's children. He threatened to end them. He is being charged with it right now.
regardless of whether he has a mouth, he's a Marine. So, Connie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't care if he was a Marine a long time ago. That was so long ago, and he is so far from it now that it just, you could be a Marine and you can also do a lot of really bad things. So, sorry. I'm an Army veteran myself. I went to Iraq. I have respect for other veterans. Not when they act like Field McConnell, though.
Sorry. Yeah, we had bad connection last night, didn't we? Do I stop and pause? You guys tell me, thank you for the super
I don't know. Maybe it's like your cell phone or something.
hearts, guys. Do I stop and pause? Is this a bad connection sitting here?
I don't know. Why don't we do our hair and find out?
Maybe you guys can let me know.
Oh, yeah, we'll let you know.
Hi, Fred. How are you? Okay,
Let's go.
good. Hi,
Let's
Lucy.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Field report. So, you guys, today on...
Let's see. Do you think she draws her own conclusion based off of the evidence that makes sense, or do you think she just took what they told her to say and parroted it? Take a listen.
the Field report. I come in with Fields of Gold because I really think Field is gold.
He's not. And for you to say these, you're not even good at this, Tracy. You're not even good at this. It is so apparently obvious that you're literally just kissing their bum because you want viewers, you want donations, and you want the attention of an audience. You're just kissing the bum of the people you sold your soul to. McConnell, DNAJLion, and the rest.
Is just a beautiful man. I love him. Hi, military mom.
And that's why you're a disgusting individual, Remington. Because you love people that do things that these guys do. You will not stand up for the truth and stand up for what's right. You will not say, you know what? I don't care about all the promotional stuff that they give to my periscopes and my channel. I'm going to call them out for what they did wrong to the people that they're wronging. I'm not going to support that kind of behavior. Anyone that's supporting them, you guys need to be able to criticize. You can't just let them do this. Tracy Jo Remington doesn't have the backbone to do it. Tracy Jo Remington literally knows everything that they're doing. Don't think she doesn't. And she knows it. She's seen it. She's seen the papers. People turn that stuff into her. People tag her in that stuff. They get blocked for doing it because all she wants is the positive benefit from working with these guys and promoting her being promoted through them.
To First Damn Periscope. Hi. Field, hi. Field needs...
Really weird. Their first day on Periscope, and they're watching you. Wonder why they're watching you. I wonder who pushed them over here to watch this.
Our prayers and our love more than ever.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he really doesn't. Field needs to get what he deserved. He needs to spend his last days inside that prison thinking about what he did.
And, if you guys go to the Field report on YouTube, Dr. Good Vibes and Kirk came out and basically laid down the law.
Laid down the law. So what they laid down was called the law. Because I swear what they laid down was sovereign citizen BS. The Field report. The Field report. It's got Field McConnell's face on it. How ironic. You're telling me that Kirk laid down the law about McConnell and he did it on McConnell's channel while McConnell's locked up, that's normal. That's completely normal for all these guys to have access to all these different channels. It's normal.
Now, what we got to understand, guys, is what I wanted to come on here and just tell you is that basically...
You know, I've got the vibe that you're being honest. Your body language, the way you're speaking, the way you're forming words, I feel like you're being completely honest with me.
Field got kidnapped into...
He got kidnapped. Wow. Well, it's, you know what? It's awesome that he's in jail right now. They must have saved him from the kidnapping, taken him to jail to protect him from the kidnappers. That's what they did, right?
And arrested into the...
Oh, wait, you're saying that the kidnapping was him being arrested. So you aren't any type of patriot. You're not any type of person that values the Constitution, the law. You are a criminal like the rest of them, like I have literally said this whole time, who is just trying to make excuses for Field and all the others so that you can lob accusations at celebrities and other famous people for political reasons of them committing horrible crimes. Gotcha.
System. And with the common law, the way it stands...
Common law? Well, that's the same thing, not that any real person that values... that cares about what needs to be done out there. No, common law is something that's spit by sovereign citizens.
Yeah, with the common law, hearing Field's voice made you feel better, huh?
Oh, yeah, it makes us feel so much better to hear his voice. It's probably going to be one of the last times you hear it, because once they put him in prison, it's going to be hard for him to call into a YouTube channel from jail.
Yeah, he is precious. He is precious.
Precious old Field.
Kirk knows that Field is safe. He is safe.
I thought you said he was kidnapped by the police. But no, he's safe. He is safe. You know, I hate saying it, Tracy, but which is the lie? Is it the lie that he was kidnapped or the lie that he's safe? Because you can't have both. Yeah, sorry. It's almost like you're just making all this up as you go. It's almost like you've been giving a pecking order of what to talk about, and you're just, you're too spacey. You're too cheerleadery to be able to actually put this together, to put this performance on in a way that's believable.
But, Kirk is awesome. And I was told that Kirk is a nobody. Somebody...
You were?
Came at me. Somebody who I really love and care about came at me and told me...
Is there maybe a reason why somebody that you care about told you that Field is a criminal nobody? Maybe it's because he's a criminal and they feel like criminals are nobodies.
Me that Kirk was a nobody. I'm sorry, I've sat down with Kirk myself. Have you?
Oh, Kirk. Yeah, Kirk is a nobody. Kirk is a repeat criminal who works for Field McConnell and gets money out of getting a percentage of donations. So, sorry, yeah, he is.
Have you sat with Kirk Pendergrass and talked?
I never would. No, I wouldn't. Sorry. I'm not like you, Tracy. I don't just work with anyone that'll throw me some money. Sorry.
Talk to him about common law, and then...
I don't talk to people about common law. Yeah, I don't play that game. Yeah, sorry. Veterans typically don't play that game.
Then this person was saying, well, Kirk has a background. The reason why Kirk Pendergrass is who he is because he's been in the courtrooms.
Oh, I get it. The reason why he is a sovereign citizen is because he's been committing so many crimes throughout his life. Okay, good. You're just backing up the fact that they're all criminals, like I'm saying. And, that's the real Tracy. See, when Tracy talks, the real Tracy starts to come out. She's a sociopath, a psychopath. She is a schizophrenic. She's a paranoid schizophrenic. She's the type of person that should not be broadcasting on Periscope, because literally, like, if you ever saw her in the beginning, she would just scream for a minute, and then she'd cry for a minute, and then she'd scream for a minute, and then she'd cry for a minute. And I would try to defend her and say that she's being manipulated by these guys to kind of, like, be an extra little, arm of the octopus here. But in all reality, she is responsible for her own actions, no matter how batshit crazy she is. So she's got to be able to take it as much as she dishes it out.
He's been through the hell of the court system.
Yeah, the court system is hell, and it messes up a lot. But you can't just say that everything it does towards you guys for making up stuff about other people is wrong. You know, some of it eventually has to be able to stick. I'm sorry.
Was doing him wrong. So he decided he was going to study the law.
No, he didn't. He decided he was going to study common law, which common law doesn't require that much study. In fact, it requires a little bit of reading and then a bunch of invention, a bunch of imagination. So here's what you've got going on. You've got a group of people who started out back in 2016 pushing the pizza stuff, the key stuff. They moved up into what they're doing now, which is a mix of satanic panic SRA mixed with, lobbing accusations at celebrities and other people for political reasons, while at the same time accusing any criticizer or any lawyer that's involved with showing any real justice towards these guys and throwing them under the bus. They do this, like I've shown you, by teaming up together after gaining subscribers through this type of conspiracy manipulation. Then they use this system, this web that they've built. They make sure to tell each and every one of them what they want them to say. So if they want to build this whole drama, they don't tell them, here's the evidence, draw your opinion, and talk about it like anyone would. They literally say, we need you to say this, we need you to say that, you need to have our opinion. And it's pretty easy to be able to verify that. You could just watch my criticism of this whole group back when I did it, or you could go look yourself and see that every time something happens, they all have the exact same opinion, okay? That's not a coincidence. If they were real people, they would be like me and Steve, me and Team, me and Sean and a bunch of other people, where we disagree on things literally all the time. We argue all the time, but at the end of the day, we still get along and we're still friends because those are our opinions. Those are how we feel about things, and we all don't honestly feel the same thing about stuff all the time. On the other hand, when you get a group like this, where they all, on the same day, the same hour, the same minute, all have the same opinion that helps exonerate them and their friends and turn any criticizer or anyone that files charges on them into the bad guy, I think you can tell how this network operates.
He is who he is with E-Clause. Him and Chris Hollett both have today because of what I've been through.
Oh, what you've been through. Oh, what was it? Your husband used to take pictures for Hillary Clinton, and now while you were with them, those pictures and him working with Hillary Clinton was okay. But once he divorced you because of how batshit crazy you were, then all of a sudden it was he was taking these pictures because he is part of this entire network. You know what's crazy is that you guys are from all over the country. You're all different people with different backgrounds, different thoughts, different experiences. You know different people, but somehow every single person that you guys bump into that you have a problem with immediately becomes a part of this criminal network after they've angered you. And that's the same for DNAJLion, the same for Titus, the same for Field, Timothy Holmseth. Some people will say, yeah, but Titus likes to take shots at Abel Danger now and take shots at Field McConnell. Well, he didn't for all those years on YouTube when he was spitting Field's rhetoric. He's only doing it now that Field stopped paying him, and now he's taking shots at him because he's mad that he's not getting a paycheck. And if you don't believe me, you can just go back into his video list and find where he was directing the most amount of traffic to Timothy Holmseth when they hired Timothy Holmseth. And do I have to go into the lawyer that's behind all these guys? The same lawyer that represented McConnell, represented Timothy Holmseth. That same lawyer was paying Titus Frost on his stream. He admitted to it. It's the same lawyer that represented Robert David Steele, the same lawyer that represented Devin Nunes, lead oversight commission for the CIA, the FBI, and the DOJ. And I know that's crazy to hear, but if you just go search it on Google, it comes right up for each person that I just named. That same lawyer also represented Mr. Ed Batowski. And what's weird about that? I could get real deep in this, but I'm not going to tonight. Ed Batowski is the person that pushed the Seth Rich conspiracy onto the internet. He's the one that invented it. And every one of those people that I just named who's affiliated with that lawyer, guess what? That's right. All of them felt the exact same way about the Seth Rich case at the same time every single time they talked about it. You know, I could be the world's biggest conspiracy theorist. Or it could be, like I said, yeah, I got it. I just don't know where you put it. I even have a article today, and this will actually make you happy. I think it should, at least, if you followed this whole fiasco. Is it in the current live stream room, or where is it? Alan Dershowitz is being sued. David Boyle, abuse allegations. Is that it? Dershowitz there? Yeah. Listen to this craziness, y'all. Listen to this crazy red pill to pay the bill update. Damn, it's almost like my red pill to pay the bill playlist is proven right as time goes on, time and time and time again. Oh, by the way, did you guys see how Roger Stone is now getting charged with all these things? And guess who's on the witness stand against Mr. Roger Stone? You want to take a guess? Or can you remember back when I told you that it would happen over a year ago? It was Jerome Corsi. I have an entire playlist where I was told that I was a crazy conspiracy theorist because I told you that Jerome Corsi flipped on Roger Stone and served him on a silver platter to the Mueller report. Well, guess who's being charged in the Mueller report? Roger Stone. Let me just show you, because you're not going to believe me, and people are going to say I'm making this up because you just want to make yourself seem like you're right, UNIRock. On January 25th of 2019, Stone was arrested at his Fort Lauderdale home in connection with Robert Mueller's special counsel investigation and charged in an indictment on witness tampering, obstruction, and official proceeding. And then they updated that just a day or two ago with this, which is Roger Stone trial charges potential witnesses and what it means for Trump. Well, we don't give a shit what it means for Trump. All we care is if UNIRock was right. Well, if you look under potential witnesses against Stone, listen to this. Former White House advisor Steve Bannon, Trump's deputy campaign chairman Rick Gates. Now, conservative author Jerome Corsi. Author. Remember, up until Corsi flipped in the Mueller investigation, do you remember what they called Corsi? Oh, you don't? Well, I'll help you out. They called him a crazy conspiracy theorist in every single time he was mentioned by the news. But once he flipped for the Mueller report, they started calling him a conservative author. That's weird. It's almost like he flipped and started working with the media in the Mueller report to do exactly what's going on now. But that would be some crazy UNIRock conspiracy from one of his playlists, so we won't bring that up right now. What matters, though, David Boies is suing Alan Dershowitz for saying blank blank abuse were part of an elaborate plot. Anyway, I would read this to you, but I don't care. It has something to do with old you-know-who. Old Mr. does a double backflip off of a bunk bed. You-know-who? Okay? So longtime Democrat Party legal apparatchik David Boies is suing longtime legal commentator Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Dershowitz for defamation. The subject matter complaint concerned Dershowitz's former late client. Boies' suit was filed with the Supreme Court of the state of New York Thursday. A copy of the 19-page suit, quote, in more than half a century during which Boies has practiced law, he has been the subject of considerable public praise and criticism, some of both which was reasonably justified, some both less so. However, there's never been the subject of sustained false accusations of criminal conduct like those leveled by Dershowitz since at least November of 18. Now, why does that matter and how does it affect this whole thing? It kind of doesn't unless you're actually smart and have been, I don't know, like listening to me for a long time. Then you would realize, wow, the people that UNIRock accused of being in charge of Field McConnell, Titus, and this whole group that pushed these conspiracy theories, they're now being sued for lobbying accusations in the same way that I just showed you that these other people were lobbying accusations. I'm sorry, I could be the biggest conspiracy theorist that ever existed, or I could have been right about all of this the entire time, because every single time I tell you that this is happening, it only takes 6 months or 8 months, and then you find out that what I told you was going to happen happens.
Maybe Fields become...
And let me go ahead and give you this huge, like, way that I do this, because you'll say I'm a fortune teller, or you'll say whatever. I do it just by doing real journalism, just by reading what's going on, following what's going on, tracking it all, paying attention, right? It's not hard. Anyone could do it if they're not, you know, whatever. If they're not just too busy doing what these guys do.
To their way of life, that they want to shut him up.
Okay, so here's another claim, and I love doing this. You know what I love doing? I love taking people that make these giant claims and then breaking it down and asking ourselves, what's a more logical claim? So is it a more logical claim that Field McConnell is going to jail right now because he's a threat to their way of life and they want to shut him up? Or is it more logical that Field McConnell was given a warning from a judge in the form of a restraining order to not mention somebody that he'd been accusing of a crime for a very long time with zero evidence at all, not even a logical basis to make the threat, and even showing that Field McConnell had a grudge against this person that would instigate him to make these threats, and that's why he's going to jail? Is it because he's a threat to their way of life and that they're trying to do it? You know, or is it because he committed a crime by disobeying the restraining order that was filed because of his actions? You know, I just don't know what way to go there, Tracy.
It's okay, Star Mister. I'm fine. Who was Saul in the Bible? Is that what you're talking about?
I would like to know. I would like to know who does your makeup, because you need to get your money back.
Right? Illegal kidnapping. You got to go watch how Kirk lays this out so beautifully.
Yeah, because Kirk said it, so then, damn, it must be true, man. Illegal kidnapping, dude. Just because Kirk said it, it makes it real. I mean, come on. It can't really be anything else, right? It has to be that. Now, let's hear from the douchebag extraordinaire himself, the red pill to pay the bill all-star, Timothy Holmseth, while he gives you the lowdown on how exactly what everyone else just said, parroted again by him on the same day, ironically.
I see some.
Damn, it's almost like your head's itchy, bro. You got a shower? You need some dandruff shampoo? What do you need, bro?
We are populating there a little bit. I'll wait a second here. Wait for a minute. Get on here.
Damn, it's almost like you're drinking out of a gas station coffee cup because you got ejected from someone's house after Field McConnell wasn't paying them to put you up in their home anymore, but I could be crazy.
Reporting here to you on behalf of the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force.
Well, either you are working for the Pentagon, Mr. Holmseth, or you are on crack. I don't know. Like, let's see. Let's do a percentage guess here. We've got let's rate you working for the Pentagon at 0% and you being on crack at 100. I think that's actually logical.
And let's see. As you can see, in the heading for the video, it says, well, attention, Pentagon Pedophile Task Force and vets for.
Wow, it couldn't be that you're just like lying that you're working for the Pentagon, right? You really think this guy's working for the Pentagon? Because there are people out there that think he is, because he said it, and because these other YouTubers told them that it's true. If you believe that, I've got a bridge in Nebraska, super cheap, dude, only like $1,000. It's worth like $1 million.
For
I'll
child
sell it to you
rescue
right
taxes, 2,100 kids in cages.
Okay, he just said he's keeping 2,100 kids in cages. I swear that's what he said. You're going to say, no, he didn't mean that. No, that's what he said, though. I mean, out of nowhere. Just, it didn't have anything to do with anything else. 2,100 kids in cages. He's just admitting to you what he does with his spare time, in my opinion, in my expert opinion.
All right. I'm going to talk to you about a few things here. As you can probably see, well, I'm somewhere where nobody knows.
I'm out front of the Denny's. It's somewhere where nobody knows, I swear.
But
no one knows about this Denny's. It's a secret Denny's.
Reason I'm coming on here is I've been told that the preacher Daniel Lee, they're
did you just say Daniel Lee and use the word preacher in front of it? Wow, you're starting this thing off on the wrong foot there, buddy.
They're attacking him like crazy, like
By the way, you know how what I said about the dandruff stuff? Do you even use shampoo? It looks like you haven't showered in a week at least, dude.
Like they've done to me. And as you know, they put Field and McConnell in jail on a fake.
Oh, hold on. Wait, say that again. Say that again for me.
Like they've done to me. And as you know, they put Field and McConnell in jail on a fake warrant, just like they did to me.
Huh. Weird, because the warrant that they were issuing for you is still active. It's not been thrown out like you lied and said was. The warrants that they originally pulled you in on weren't fake because they held you there and eventually you stood in front of a judge. You talked one of your friends into paying bond and then didn't show up, so they got to keep it, and your friend got screwed. You know, I mean, I love being the guy that actually represents reality for you, but you should try it. Other people shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to represent reality, Timmy.
And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about these things. I'm going to talk to you first of all about Preacher Dan. Preacher Dan.
Oh, yeah, please do, because I love talking about him. I love giving the truth about him to people who don't know about it. And if you're the one bringing him up, then I won't get in trouble for talking about him. So please hit me with it.
He's doing the work of God, and that guy...
He's not doing the work of God, no. No, provably he's not. People that do the work of God, they do good things. They don't lie to people. And in every one of his videos, as I stated earlier, Daniel John Lee lies. Provably. Every claim that he makes, and he makes a claim every other video, if not every video, because some of his claims carry over into other videos, so you know. Every claim he's ever made has turned out to be verifiably and provably not true. Every celebrity that he's ever accused, there's never been a single shred of evidence that he has produced or anyone else, and nothing has ever come from it, and they still just keep acting in movies, making millions of dollars, getting awards. I mean, it's like either the biggest conspiracy that ever existed, or he just really sucks at reporting.
He lives his life every single day trying to save children, and they're doing...
Well, he does that, or he lives his life every single day avoiding taking care of his own children. That's actually provably true. He'll even admit that. And the thing is, you say that he lives his life every single day. You're the one that said it, not me. It's your fault that we're talking about this, big guy. You don't want us to talk about this, don't bring it up. But what kids has he saved? Can I get a list? Actually, I do have a list. Hold on a minute. I do have a list. I wrote it on this napkin. I have a list of every kid that DNAJLion has saved, being on YouTube, but even in his entire life. This is an accurate list. Here, look closer. An accurate list of every child that DNAJLion not only has saved, but even helped. Now, if you wanted a list that actually had names on it, you would need a list of children that he has restraining orders, lifetime restraining orders against him for. That would be a list that was populated by names.
Doing everything they can to stop him. And from what I'm told now, they're attacking him. They're trying to get his PayPal shut down. And that
Who's they? They're trying to get his PayPal. Well, wait, now hold on. They're trying to get his PayPal shut. Who would they be? Like, how would you even know that? How would he know that? The only way he would know that is if they suspended it or something. You know what? I have to know. I have to know. Did they suspend it? Is that why you're saying this?
And so what I did was, if you see, I've obtained the tax documents of Craig Sawyer's Vet for Child Rescue. And
well, good, because he puts them out for free. So, I mean, yeah, you could say you obtained them, or you could have just say you clicked on a freaking link and got them from him. You could say that too. So let's see here. Where is his PayPal link? He usually lists it way up at the top here. Patreon channel. It's almost like he took out his PayPal link from all of his videos. But if I go to his website, The Spirit and the Torah, then, oh yeah, here he is. Donations. Okay. Now let's click on that donate link there. Oh, you know what he did? Servant of Yahshua7 at gmail.com. Torah Restoration Ministries, Daniel Lee, Torah Restoration Ministries, Daniel Lee. Well, that's not his PayPal link. That's a new PayPal link. They must have taken his PayPal link down. Huh, weird. And all he did was go ahead and make a new one. Who would have thought? Who would have thought he would try to usurp PayPal's suspension?
I can't, it's really hard for me when I'm working with this data in my vehicle, but I know there's a section in some of the tax documents I saw that was over $1 million that they had brought in.
So what? Are you jealous? Because actually, not only is there a full accounting. See, I checked. I heard several people call Craig Sawyer a fraud. And I could name a couple, but I won't. I think you'd know who they are, right? Ironically, a certain faker that I know said that he's a fraud. So I went and actually took a look, and it turns out you can find the things that he's done to help victims, and they're logged. I have had people turn in actual accountings of victims that Sawyer has helped. It's weird, Timmy, because there is literally no one that you've ever helped. There's only people that file lifetime restraining orders against you and people that get warrants issued out for you and the people you work with. And you guys are attacking Sawyer, who I can find where he has helped people. Now, there could be criticisms against Craig. I'm not saying there aren't, and that's for other people to look up that are going to be fair and actually list everything, the things he's done, and then the things they want to criticize him. I've criticized Craig Sawyer for things many times on my channel and on my main channel. So you could say, yeah, he brought in $1 million, but then also, what about the people that he helped? That's how you have to do. You have to weigh the provable people that they have done something for against the amount of money that they're taking in, and then make a logical assertion for like what's going on with this thing. You don't just look at it and say he made money, so he's a bad guy. I mean, if we did that, we could apply that same logic to you and consider you to be one of the most evil manipulators on the planet. Because comparing you to Sawyer, you are flubby, he's in shape. You don't help anyone. He helps a lot of people. You constantly lie about people, constantly get warrants issued out for your arrest. He doesn't. You know, the things that you guys try to attack him for always end up being very frivolous or very personal things that you shouldn't even be having your nose in whatsoever if you respected our Constitution in any way. And the things that people criticize Craig for are the things you criticize him for are those, and the things that you get criticized for are provable, real crimes. I probably said that a little weird. Sorry, I've been talking all day. It's getting late. I need to go offline, but not before we finish dissecting the devil that is Timothy Holmseth. And I'm sorry, is Glow in my chat? Because I need something from Glow before I log off. I need the link to the first page of his book, because I'm going to read it to you if I can get it. Rachel, do me a solid. I know it's in the Red Pill to Pay the Bill room. I know that I know the link to Mr. Holmseth's book. Here, maybe if I type in Holmseth book in my Discord and search, I can find it. Try to find me the link to Holmseth's book really quick. The front page. It was a backup link for, I had it, you know what? Hold on a minute. I think I've got it on the Red Pill to Pay the Bill channel. Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, I still do Red Pill to Pay the Bill content. I just don't do it on this channel because YouTube demonetizes every single video I do. Probably because of the content matter. Let's see. It could be one of these links. I'm not sure, but if I have it up on the screen, I could zoom in on it and show it to you. I'll wait and see. I'll keep doing this while see if you guys can put it in the current live stream room for me.
I'll be in my opinion, Craig Sawyer's Vets for Child Rescue it's a front for a CIA operation.
Okay, well, put the evidence out there. You just say things. In fact, your entire internet history is you saying things. And people that criticize you, they actually put hard evidence up. I'm sorry. Unless you are a complete idiot, why are you supporting this guy? Anyone. Everyone. He needs to be called out. He needs to be able to face justice. He needs to be able to stop doing the things he's doing to Kim Picazio. He is a danger to Kim's children, to Kim and Kim's husband. DNAJLion and Kirk Pendergrass just added themselves to the list of people who are a danger to her children, to her, and the husband. This is truthful. This is truthful. This is provable. There is no argument about it. You could say that you're revealing the truth and want to argue it out on all these crazy things you talk about, but I can prove that you are a danger to these people because of your actions. There has to be a point where people stand up against these frauds. And another fraud that you have to stand up against is Titus Frost, because all Titus is trying to do is earn points with his idiotic audience by duping them and attacking these guys. He's doing it so that he can try to earn points after he was exposed last year for being a political player in their game for Dershowitz, just like the rest of them. So they look at it now, if they assign a few of their buddies to trying to bust the guys that they don't work with anymore, that they can fool the audience into thinking that they're trustable. Don't give any of them any favors. Yeah. Drop it in red pill to pay the bills. Okay. So to end this out, I want to show you the if I can get it pulled up here. Well, that is the link. I just don't know where the book is on this link. Let's see if I can get it up here really quick. Oh no, that's Timothy's actual website. It's right near that. Wherever you found it at, it'd be right by it. So let's see here. U.S. court requested to hear evidence of kidnapping and blank cover-up involving Minnesota Police Department. That's what he's doing on his webpage right now. He's just doing the same thing he's always done. You look at this. He just posted this. Oh, this is from 16. Okay, good. All right. So I'm ending this out. Anyone sending money to these people, including DNAJLion, are funding the things I just showed you that they're doing. That's the truth. Anyone sees Glow, let him know in Discord to download. Anybody that wants to download this and upload it to their channel, you, of course, are more than welcome to, because I'm not going to keep this on my channel. You can have this video, do what you want with it. Clip it, download the full thing, upload it, whatever. Somebody let Glow know. I'll leave it up for a day or two. Eventually, it's going to go privated and deleted. And I don't know. I might list it on the Red Pill to Pay the Bill channel. I might not. Who knows? Either way, thanks for stopping by. If you do like this type of content, follow me on the Red Pill to Pay the Bill channel. It's RP2PB. It's just a channel on YouTube. Because this type of content won't be on this channel anymore due to YouTube, for some reason, not liking us giving these guys any attention, whether it's debunking them or not. I'm doing this video, though, because they decided to go to DNAJLION7's big 80,000 subscriber channel and lob accusations at Kim Picazio again, and there needs to be a video out there that counters what they're doing, the lies they're telling, so that maybe people that are instigated to go harass Kim Picazio from DNAJLION7's video may, while they're clicking around, stumble upon this video and actually get a little bit of logic about the situation put in front of them, and maybe it'll get them to slow down and not go harass her if they watch this. And to these people these YouTubers that I've named, it is a good thing that they are having to face justice for what they're doing. People that make up lies about people who have the courage to stand up to them in court. Court just doesn't, there are some instances where things are gotten wrong in court, of course. But for the most part, when you get to defend yourself, they get to prosecute you. So it's not like Kim Picazio just went there, turned it into a judge, and a judge just said, there you go, Kim. No, Kim had to give hard evidence. The thing that's most important about the situation is that the reason that McConnell is actually screwed on this is because he got really mad and really drunk, is what a lot of people say. And I don't know if that's true, but he got really angry one night and made a bunch of threats to Kim Picazio recently, and that's what instigated the judge to actually take action this time and get him extradited to Florida. And if you know, a lot of times when you do these like things where you get restraining orders, a judge will say, well, this guy's all the way up in another state, clear across the country, so we're not going to just, waste the court's time with this. We're not going to push this through. If this guy ever if he ever comes to Florida, if he ever starts harassing you, then sure, come back. It's not easy to get a restraining order against somebody across the country, especially when what they're doing is centered on the internet. In this case, it happened because of Field McConnell threatening to go do a MASS space SHOOTING to Picazio and her family. And this wasn't stated by me. This was stated by the supporters of Holmseth when they were reading out the charges. They're trying to say that those charges are fake or something, which no, they're not. That's what he did when he was angry. The guy is losing his mind. Why is he losing his mind? Well, let me help you out. Back in 2016 and before, these guys have been on YouTube pushing the same stuff you're seeing now, the entirety of YouTube. And they were making a lot of money doing it for a very long time. They were literally like freaking ghetto rich from accusing people of crimes on the internet for the entirety of YouTube. They got AdSense and used to make bank money off of this. And their money started drying up when YouTube started to demonetize the type of content that they're doing and starting to restrict it, and then starting to delete the people that are very extreme about this stuff. And once McConnell had that happen, he's not good with money. He's been living, the dream life ever since he started doing this on the internet. People just sending him all kinds of cash, raking in all kinds of views, going viral because of his clickbait and his fake accusations. And a lot of people are like, wait, that attorney, the one that got awarded, the one that's been giving her whole life in service to this state of Florida, who's got all these awards and who has done all this pro bono work, she's doing that. Well, I'm clicking on this video and I'm sharing it and I'm going to believe it because it's extreme. They get a lot of views for that. And when YouTube stepped in, McConnell has his house getting foreclosed on. He's broke as a joke. He can't pay for the propaganda from his buddies like he used to. And he has to now take people like crazy Tracey Joe, who is a literal psychopath. Just go watch her videos if you don't believe me. I can hook you up with some clips if you need them. A literal psychopath. That's why they get people like Tracey Joe to work with them. Normally, they would never have a loose cannon like her working for them, but they can't pay anyone else to do it. Tracey's willing to do it just to get her name shouted out. She's just desperate for attention, So they're willing to now take anyone in that'll work for them and that they know they can trust to spit their rhetoric. And that's why it's all falling apart now at the end. And this is why you don't sell your soul like this. It's why just because you can go to the internet and just because you can lie about a bunch of stuff, just because you can frame somebody in a bad light and make extreme claims and get a bunch of clicks, it doesn't mean you should do it, because eventually it'll come back to get you. Karma always comes full circle. You got me? You remember my playlist, Full Circle? Remember, after Demon Identity, it went Aftermath, and then after Aftermath, it went Endgame, and after Endgame, where did it go? Hashtag Full Circle, because it always comes back to haunt you when you sell your soul for the easy way. I'm UNIRock. I'm out. If you want to hook me up, I barely make any money doing this. I get paid like 20 cents an hour. So if you want to help out and maybe get me paid 30 cents an hour, I work a lot of hours. That's why. www.paypal.me/UNIRock. It would help out. Not required. I always do what I do. Most importantly, though, at least watch the videos, like the videos, and if you do want to support us, joining the channel helps immensely. Thank you to all my members. I can't do it without you. I am exhausted, and I will see you tomorrow. Audi 5000. Peace.